welcome to The Walking Dead Season 5 panel. You guys have waited in line a long time. We understand that. We have a lot of fun things to show you. The panel's going to mix up a bunch. We have a bunch of video. I went to the set a couple, maybe like 4 weeks ago, and everyone unilaterally has said the same thing. You know, last season started off kind of calm. Everyone was farming. And this season, apparently, super intense from the get-go. This season is apparently going to be brutal, intense. We're going to talk about it. This is the most ambitious season they've ever done on Walking Dead. Season 5 premieres Sunday, October 12th at 9 p.m. Tonally, Talking Dead's going to stay exactly the same. That's not going to change. We're in a fake living room, and we're talking about... Thank you. There's not going to be more explosions on Talking Dead, sir. There's not even one explosion. I would like to start out, we're going to bring the producers out, we're going to talk to them for a few minutes, we're going to show some stuff, and then we're going to bring the cast out after that. So please help me welcome to the stage, showrunner and executive producer, Scott M. Gimble! Also, executive producer and writer, Robert Kirkman! Executive producer, Gail Anherd! Executive producer, David Albert! Supervisor, Director Greg Nicotero! Welcome to see you guys. Scott, let's start, because we have a lot of stuff to get through. Let's start with the obvious. As far as we know, everyone was in a train car the last time we saw.
Yes.
I don't know why the termites thought it was a good idea to put all of them in the same train car, but they did.
You'll see.
And so what is happening at this point? Do they ever make it out of the train car?
Well, here's the thing. Do they ever make it out of the train car? You know what, I'm not going to answer that. We have a video. There's a little weird. We're going to show a little bit of episode, this is crazy, 5:15.
Oh, so way in the 5th season.
Yes, just a little clip. It's not going to ruin anything, but it will help answer, are they ever going to get out of the train car?
Well, this is a great exclusive.
It's sort of like Cheers, but at Terminus, with dashes of Apocalypse Now that you saw at the end.
But honestly, like what... I talked a little bit when I came out about how you guys have been saying like the season starts off the most intense the show has ever started off before. So can you talk a little bit about the themes going into season 5 and just set it up a little bit for people?
Well, you know, when they lost these are spoilers, so if you haven't seen the show, I don't know why you're here. But once they lost the prison, once they lost Herschel, all bets were off. And I think they did find out that you can't come back from the things that you've done. You have to live with them. But also those things that you've done make you incredibly formidable. So now that you are, everybody who's alive is, in one way or another, has done unbelievably unspeakable things. Who do they become? Who are they going to be? This season is going to define these characters.
Yeah, and is there anything you can tell us about the termites, other than that they're a well-organized colony of hipsters?
Well, I mean, we're going to see the Urban Outfitters. That, you know, a train car. I'll say this: we're going to see the story of Terminus.
Okay.
So we're gonna see how it happened.
All right. Well, sort of jumping over to that, can we sort of talk a little bit with Kirkman about how close?
No.
Okay. Let's go again. The show's always had a nice kind of interweaving with the comics, and you know, like some things transmute to other characters from the comics, and there are touch points along the way. And I've always really admired the fact that you get two totally different experiences from the comic and the television show. But moving forward, how closely is the show going to follow back in line with the comics, or what's your plan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, Terminus certainly seems like a pretty major departure, but I can say that, you know, very quickly, early on in the season, we're going to start getting back on track of, you know, dealing with some more comic book events. And, you know, while this will be a season, same as the other seasons, where, you know, there are things that we use and things that we don't use and things that we adapt directly and things that we change a lot, I think, you know, this is probably a season that's going to, you know, be pretty close to the comics. I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of comic stuff that we're going to be bringing in. So there's a lot of things that you guys who've been reading the comics are really excited about seeing that I think we're going to get to this season. So there's going to be some cool stuff ahead.
And so where are the since everyone's in the train car as far as we know. Like,
And always in the train car, so it's all going to be changed so that it takes place in the train car.
one whole season in the train car.
Shot live.
Do it, stream it, 24 hours. What happens, like, where's everyone's head at, do you think, like, once they get into the train car? And, I mean, Rick seems to be, after he bit that guy's throat out, spoiler, Rick seems to be, like, not just old Rick, but, like, mega Kung Fu grip Rick. So,
look, Mega Kung Fu Grip Rick is the Rick that we've had in the comics for a while.
Right.
It's just taken this long for us to get to him in the show. But the thing to notice, the thing to recognize is that all of the characters have been through this incredible trial leading up to that train car. So it's not just Rick that is uniquely prepared to deal with the threat of Terminus. It's all of them. They're all very capable, and they're all very ready to do what they have to do to survive. So this is a very dangerous, very different group of people that we're experiencing.
yeah.
And as far as one moment from the comic book that we didn't do on the show, in the comic book, well, actually I'm not going to say it here because there's children, but he says they're effing with the wrong people. Actually, it doesn't say they're effing. What do they say, Robert?
I'm not going to say the F word here.
Okay, good. On the Blu-ray, it will be like the comic.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Some
You
more
get your
swears.
F word!
Yes, I know that there's some outcry.
I would pay more money for an F word.
There you are.
So, that sounded weird. But I did mean it that way. Gail, I want to talk a little about the locations because I came and visited you guys when you were shooting in one of the locations, but I did my best to shield myself from everything because I don't want to get anything spoiled because I get just as mad as anyone else about spoilers. But what can you tell us about the different locations, where you guys are, and what the production's been like this season?
Sure. Well, first of all, the cast and crew are very grateful because, like the train car, we have a few other locations that we call the tick, chigger, and mosquito free zones.
Mm-hmm.
You might call them suburbia and urban settings,
Right.
but that's not what we call them.
Right.
And, you know, some might possibly, maybe be inspired by the comic book. So those of you who haven't read the comic book yet, now's a good
Read the
time to
comic
start.
Oh, please do. Thank you, Gail. That was awesome.
Where can I get them, Robert?
You can get them everywhere, but your local comic shop is the best place.
I remember when I first started doing Talking Dead, and I was really nervous that I didn't know if you liked what I was doing. I go, am I doing a good job? And you go, I don't care what you're doing. You mentioned the comic book. That's good for me.
Don't reveal to people how cutthroat I am behind
Oh,
the
okay, I'm
scenes.
sorry. No, I meant you said it was.
Or I will fire you.
Damn it. You can too.
But this season, you know, we have some pretty spectacular scopes, some of which you'll be able to see in that promo piece. If you guys really, really want it down the line, maybe we'll show you. And you'll see us take some pretty big leaps with the characters and with the set pieces.
Good.
Bigger than ever.
So speaking of characters, David Albert, can you talk a little bit about new characters or people that we'll see this season?
You know, we have a long-standing objective on the show to hire pretty much everyone who's ever been affiliated with The Wire. So, to
Chad
that end,
Coleman.
Chad Coleman, Lauren Schiller, Steve Mann. We have a number of alums on the show, and so to that end, Seth Gilliam will be joining us as Father Gabriel Stokes. He played Detective Carver on The Wire, so excited to have him on the show.
Excellent. And for Mr. Nicotero, I feel like every year that we're in here, and I always go, okay, each year you kind of try to break as much ground as possible with the special effects and close-up shots of gore. How do you up that after going into a fifth season? Like what did you do to prepare and present new types of?
Well, this season there's a lot of really interesting Walker set pieces. You know, when we did the premiere last year, we had the walkers falling through the ceiling in a big spot, and we thought, how great would it be to put these great hunters, survivors into a situation that they can't be prepared for. So this season, there's we're up to like episode 7 filming right now. So we have several cool set pieces, and one of them I brought a couple pictures because there's a few things that there's one that you'll see in the promo in a minute where they come across a room that's flooded, and the walker on the right is sort of been in this basement for ages, so all the skin is kind of sloughing off. Something really, just taking the Walker look that we have and sort of putting it into different scenarios. And the makeup on the left is, again, going with the idea that some of the teeth are rotting out and the nose is gone. So we're really constantly trying to refine the look of the Walker. So there's two different looks there. And you can imagine that the waterlogged Walker, like if you punch them in the jaw, like that would just explode with brown water and nasty crack.
Does that happen?
It's, I don't know. Very low.
How would you describe season 5 as compared to 1, 2, 3, and 4? Like, how do you think visually? Like, what do you think of when you think of the show at this point?
Well, what's interesting is because we left off in such a great cliffhanger. Like we were saying, that's one of the first times we really left off in that kind of situation. But visually, it takes us to different places. We will probably revisit a few places that you may recognize that you'll see in the promo. But then there's new worlds that are being introduced as well, and that was really important to us. Even putting the promo together is to show that the Walking Dead world continues to expand, and our characters continue to expand with it. So there's a lot of really cool landscape that we're going to explore.
Well, I think that's an interesting point right now, because I think there's one more video because we still have a lot of panel to get through. I think there's one more video that, Gail, would you please introduce what people are about to see?
Well, you guys all come here to get something special, right? And we live to give it to you, because we're only here because of the love from our fans in the US and our international fans. We don't necessarily get the awards love, so that makes us even more deeply appreciative of what you guys want. So please let me hear from you how much you'd like to see the first sneak peek in the world of season 5.
Please help me welcome the cast: Andrew Lincoln, Stephen Yeun, Lauren Cohen, Michael Cutlets, Denai Gurira, Melissa McBride, Chad Coleman, Emily Kinney, and Norman Reedus. Welcome. This gets bigger every year. Lauren, you totally have a shot with that guy. So let's talk. A ton of questions. There's a big panel. So. It's nice to see Rick back the way. You did an amazing job as sad Rick, but as angry, kick-ass Rick, it's so great. That footage in that trailer is phenomenal. So
it's been fun.
It's been fun, right? Do you feel like you're you again?
Yeah. It was great. Being reined in by Herschel, but there's something about getting my gun back and my shoes on, and getting sweaty and dirty and bloody that really feels right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So now that you're back as Rick-tatorship, what do you feel like? How do you prepare? Like how do you prepare for Angry Rick?
Well, like most people, I just learn my lines and I'm very quiet and very focused.
That's it? That's the only thing you do?
Yeah, no, I listen to some music from time to time.
Okay, well, there's a video of you getting prepared for your character that we brought that if you say that's all it is, that's fine, but I feel like there's...
Christopher.
Well, Andrew. This is very British and formal all of a sudden.
Why would you do this to me?
Because I think people need to know the man behind the Rick.
No, this is just a very private, quiet, it's Zen. What I do is Zen preparation.
Alright, well turn off his mic so he can be Zen and let's show this video.
What? That's so embarrassing. Did that look as crazy as it sounded?
No!
Oh yeah,
Totally normal.
I That's what I was doing before I came out here. Sorry about that.
Let's talk to Steven. Glenn's really had a nice arc in the sense that, and we've talked about this before, he kind of went from the, hey guys, what do you need, to like breaking chairs.
My voice exact.
I gotta tell you exactly. But Glenn has really, I mean, this is kind of a crappy thing to say, but the apocalypse kind of made him a man in a weird sort of way. Would you agree with that, or would you not agree with that?
I would agree. I think everyone in this apocalypse has gotten their potential completely unlocked, and I think Glenn was someone maybe back at home he wouldn't have been the person that he is, dealing pizzas, but now, you know, he has love, he has friendship, he has family, and he has things to protect, so yeah, he's learned a lot.
And how can you sort of describe where his mental state is at the end of last season, where it's finally, you know, like he and Maggie finally came together. They didn't really have a ton of time to be like, I miss you so much. It was like, hey, shoot. So how do you, do you think he feels centered again? Do you think he feels whole again?
You know, I think for him, you know, last season he overcame an incredibly impossible task to find the people that he lost, and he held out hope, and it got him to that place. And so moving forward, you know, they find themselves in a very dire situation, but I think he still holds out hope. He still has that fight in him, and you know, I think he's carrying on the legacies of all the people, as well as all of us are, of everyone that's fallen before us.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to Lauren for a second about Lauren went on a crazy blood painting expedition throughout last season, looking for Glenn. How do you think Maggie kind of goes from fight mode back into, you know, like, okay, I can actually love someone, I can be in a relationship, I can let someone in. How does she jump back and forth, you think?
It's funny because the physicality of the show exhausts you so much, and I think we all know how much easier it is to cry when you're tired, like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
No, but I think it was funny in the sign swinging episode, because since that day I now pour blood over my head to get into character.
Oh.
Those scenes, yeah, I don't feel prepared unless I pour blood over my head. But yeah, I think it's what makes this character is you do what you need to do, and very often what you need to do is kill 7 to 10 people at a time, and then, you know, snatch a moment to express, you know, your feelings.
Do you think it's possible, and like, let's just say at the beginning of season 5, they go, oh, we found a cure for zombieism, it's orange juice or whatever, and then everyone's fine. Do you think these characters could, like, do you think they could ever settle down at some point and find a normal life, or do you think they're just kind of broken forever?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like even if we cured the orange juice, there would still be a lot of bad guys out there. I think we can all agree that once this happens in the world, nobody's going to be the same after, so maybe, I don't know, I'd like to start a school.
For blood art?
Yeah, blood art, yeah.
I'm very excited to have Michael Cummins here because he's never been to Comic-Con before. Abraham was you know, in the comics, Abraham is a statuesque V-shaped man. So how did you get, like, when you read the comics, when you looked at the comics, did you picture yourself like, yeah, I'm this guy?
He's a punk in the comics. No, it was interesting because I obviously don't look like that. I don't know if too many people look like that in real life. It's, you know, comic book Abraham. So I just I decided I was going to meet him somewhere in the middle. You know, do my end to get to where I could, and you know, it's all about attitude mostly. So he's a badass.
How did it feel? I mean, what was the experience like coming into, you know, this sort of pre-existing family and the cast, and everyone's been there for a while, and you're the new guy? Did you feel right away like I click and I fit in, or how was the experience?
These guys are fantastic to come work for. I mean, this is obviously arguably the largest show in the world, and you come into it, you know, sort of near the tail end of the season. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and they made it easy. You know, they all welcomed me. It's nice starting this year, you know, coming in fresh. And I described it as, you know, the first season was sort of moving into somebody's house, and you know, you sort of like, you get to sleep on the couch. and this year they built me a room. And I feel very, very welcomed by everyone, and I'm just excited to see all this. And you guys are really crap as a riot.
I gotta say, I don't know if you can turn around and see yourself in the monitor, but in the close-up, your hair is like electric orange.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'd like to talk to Denai for a sec, and Michonne had such an amazing season this past season, and seeing so many different sides of Michonne, what is more challenging for you, when you get all torn up physically, or is it like when you get torn up emotionally? Like what's more challenging for you as a performer?
Thank you. I really loved both sides of her, and I love this character probes me to both sides. Like, I have got to go there for her in whichever direction she needs me to. And initially, I was really afraid of how physical she was, because she's definitely more agile than me. So I had to catch up, and I consistently have to catch up with what she's capable of. But actually, even before she was able to start working through her own old wounds, there was emotional stuff that was under the surface that I had to stay connected to that was actually proved to be really challenging, because it was really dark, hard stuff that she was holding on to so tightly. So that was actually very challenging. And then now she's kind of in a different place, which is really somewhat easier in some ways to play, but also challenging because she's vulnerable, and that can be hard for her because she's enjoyed being tough, but she knows that's not all she is. So they've both actually been really enjoyable to do as a performer, but both very challenging. And every script you pick up, you're like, okay, you gotta like pull that off this week in terms of the physical needs. So she's keeps me on my toes, which is great.
Excellent. I have something for Melissa McBride.
Yeah, just look at the flowers, man.
Are you gonna pick someone to give them to? No? 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 Nobody wants the flowers? Come on, Chad, you know you want those flowers. No? I think, first of all, Melissa McBride, congratulations on your Saturn Award. I mean, talk about seeing a character come out of their shell and dominate. I mean, Carol this past season she's really become a true leader and done stuff that I don't know if any other characters would have been able to do. So how do you feel about Carol right now, and what are your thoughts going into season 5 about what she's prepared to do?
I think the great thing about Carol is that she is kind of prepared to do anything. It's coming to terms with the fact that this is the world the way it is, and this is what you have to do now, and that she's come to a place of courage to be able to do those tough things. But
yeah.
She's a very empathetic character.
But how does she keep grounded? Like, how does the Lizzie thing happen and then she's like, all right, let's move? Like, how does she stay centered?
I think it's because in her center she feels justified, and it comes from a place of caring. I think if it weren't for that, what's the point of living? You know?
I guess not much if you're Lizzie.
What's the point of having to do these horrible things if that's all the world is?
Yeah. I also want to welcome Chad Coleman to the stage. It's such an amazing scene between Tyrese and Carol where you're like, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Oh, wow, they've made peace with each other somehow so in your mind, what was happening with Tyrese in that moment?
Well, you know what? Hope, you say hope and heart. How does hope demonstrate itself in this world, you know? If you don't have the heart, you can't have the hope, you know? So, I don't know that, I think Scott would agree with this, that, you know, there was no time really that he lost sight of her humanity, though. If you really tracked the way we went through, we had, you know, it was a horrific experience, almost shared experience, and complicit agreement to have to take out Lizzie, you know? So that's a lot of, I mean, I saw her. So I didn't just see this villain. I saw someone who was incredibly brave in an incredibly harsh world. So that's why I was able to forgive her. Also, you look, this is a little community. I mean, if we're gonna have hope, then we gotta believe we're gonna be able to sustain community, and we got to build from somewhere, you know. So destroying that community just lessens the hope that much more. So, you know, it's a twisted world, but that's what hope looks like now. You know, it doesn't look warm and fuzzy like maybe in the real world.
Right.
But hey, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Carol's definitely a good role model, particularly for parents who are like, kids don't act up, or... That's Carol. I mean, she did it. Emily Kinney, I am thrilled. There's so many questions. We did the Project Dead Summer Special. It was like, where's Beth? Where's Beth? Where's Beth? Where's Beth? And of course, we couldn't answer that. I don't know what happened. Gimple wouldn't say anything. So it's very nice to see you in the trailer. It's nice that that Beth is out there somewhere. So what can you tell us about where you think she's at up to the point that the last time we see her?
Yeah, well, I can't tell you really anything about where she is next season, but I can tell you that she's gotten a lot stronger, you know? We've seen Beth lose her father and leave the farm where she grew up, and she teamed up with Daryl last year, and he definitely, you know, taught her some survival skills, and I think that
How to get drunk?
You know, and she's lived a little now. She's, you know, she's not just you know, innocent teenager anymore. So she's lived a little, and she's taking all those things that she's learned, and she's taking a different kind of strength into season 5, and gonna have to use everything she's got.
Nice. Norman Reedus. Hold for estrogen. You can't even say Norman at Comic-Con. If you just say the word Norman, people are like, Norman, did you have any inkling at the beginning of season 1 that this was the emotional journey that Daryl would take?
No. I thought that they were gonna kill me off like episode 2. No, I had no idea, but it kind of blows me away. How it keeps going forward, how everybody on this cast, like none of these cast members are the same people as season 1, not even close. It's how it's written. You constantly evolve, and I'm so beat up right now. And like Lauren was saying, it's probably easier to be emotional when you're so physically beat up. But this is a job that we love going through, and you never know where things are going to go. And I'm curious to see where they go now.
Well, speaking of character evolution, I want to ask Andy, where do you think, which character do you think has evolved the most since season 1?
Well, yeah, I mean, as Norm was saying, all of us have had this incredible journey, but I think there's one person that's really changed more than anybody else. I mean, when I first met him, he was barely the size of his action figure. He looked like just a cuddly little Ewok. And I was, in season 2, I was able to carry him. I nearly put my back out doing it. And in season 5, I'm hoping that he will carry me.
I think we actually have a picture of...
Oh, let's wow. Oh, look at him. Look at my boy. Look at my boy. Look at him. What's up, Riggs?
Why are you guys talking about me like I'm not here?
Yeah. You were gonna sit there and finish every last bit of that pudding before you leave.
Oh my goodness, that is a lot.
Did you ever expect that being on the show would attach you to pudding for the rest of your life?
I mean, that's not what I expected. I mean, I enjoy it now, so.
What does it felt like? I mean, you saw the picture of yourself. You saw that you were a young lad when this series started. What does it felt like to grow up on this show?
It's been an awesome experience. It's been a really awesome experience actually because.
Hey Chandler, how old are you?
What?
How old are you?
How what?
How old are you?
Oh, how old am I? I'm 15.
15!
Do you drive? Do you drive?
Yeah, I have like.
How diversified is your stock portfolio now?
It's pretty diverse.
How deep is your voice?
Go pretty deep.
Yeah!
No, but growing up on the show it's been so much fun and it's been awesome. And I've had the most amazing actors to work with and mentors here to work with, and it's been awesome and it's been so much fun. You know, growing up on the show, it's been like 1/3 of my life. You know, in the first 5 years you can't remember your life, so it's been like half of my life really. So it's been awesome.
Did you just say 1/3 of your life? Oh man, I feel old. Get off my lawn, you damn kids. 5 years ago, I was like, I was here 5 years ago, like standing here. It feels weird. Probably wearing the same thing, like I just not changed. Oh man, that feels weird. Well, I'm so glad you were able to come out. You haven't been to San Diego Comic-Con yet, have you? This is your first time, San Diego. I would love to open up the floor to questions. I want to make sure we have enough time for fan questions, because I know you guys have waited, and we want to make sure we have plenty of time for that. While we're doing that,
John. How you doing? Nice to meet the runner over here. Oh, yeah, he's
Thank you for flipping me off in front of the young boy. I love your voice! Hey, what's your name?
Ani.
Hi, Ani. What's your question?
Well, first off, I want to tell you all for making this amazing TV series that my mom gets mad at me for watching. But I'd like to ask Norman Reedus about himself on the show. What do you see in yourself about Daryl? And then what do oh my god.
Release a Pokemon.
Norman Reedus, I choose you! Gotta catch 'em all! Nope, just happy with this one.
How much of Daryl do you see in yourself, and how much of yourself do you see in Daryl?
There's a whole bunch of me and Daryl and a bunch of Daryl and me. Which sounds really old.
Pretty saucy answer.
Yeah, that's what's going on this season. Wow, I mean, I'm definitely as awkward as Daryl is, obviously. I don't know, I mean what I say, I believe what I say, I trust my friends. It takes a long time for me to trust anyone, that's a lot like Daryl. Yeah, I'm a lot like him. We're both, we're both cut from the same cloth, I think, just from different parts of the world, maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Excellent.
I don't know, and hi, Comic-Con. Yeah, we love you guys. You're our people, and we love you. So, thank you.
Now, I am so excited to see Button Lady. So excited to see Button Lady. I'm glad you got to. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Chris.
Okay, just before. Okay, real quick.
Wait. You promised me a panel this year. I looked in the schedule. I didn't see it.
For what? A panel for what?
You said Button Lady would have her own panel.
This is it. This is the Button Lady panel. This isn't about Walking Dead. We got everyone together here so we can do your panel. Ballpark, how many buttons did you make since last Comic-Con?
2,000.
Jesus. Well, that's amazing. Do you have some for us later?
If you want them, yes.
Yes, I do. What is your question for the panel?
My question is for Melissa. In the scene where you're talking with Tyrese about your guilt and you're confessing to him, do you think that Carol was really, after losing the girls that she so desperately tried to save, that she was looking for suicide by Tyrese, and that she was shocked when he actually forgave her.
Butt Lady brings the room down to a serious question. Butt Lady makes it real.
What is up with the front row? I don't think, I think she was ready to accept the fate that he chose for her. And the important thing in that scene for her was to allow him the choice and to let him experience what having that choice feels like. But she never expected that he would forgive her. Sure.
Excellent.
Too sure.
Good question. Good answer. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ashley.
John just Ashley.
You guys. Actually, my question was for the writers and producers, but you guys can answer it too. I love you. You guys are amazing actors. I love you. My question is, there are so many walkers, so different. It's like, sorry, it's very diverse. And I was wondering if you guys ever thought that there might be a disabled walker, like my battery won't last, so like a zombie herd. Do you think that, like, where are the disabled zombies? I want to see those.
As the guy who hosts the show that talks about the show, I don't have a good answer for that. But I don't know. That would be a great question for the producers.
Where are they?
I think you can't count anything out. There's some amazing minds that are right behind that curtain, and I think the world is going to be rife and open for anything and everything. So maybe you just spark some amazing creativity.
I see Scott Gimple trucking up the stairs. Scott Gimple! Come on out and answer this question.
I just came for the pudding.
Well, you don't get pudding unless you give a good answer.
There was actually a disabled walker in episode 6 last year when the governor went to get the oxygen tanks. I didn't mean to turn this into a trivia contest. But I'm just saying. But actually, as we go on, we're going to see all sorts of different walkers, all sorts of different types of people who are people and then become walkers, people who are walkers. You're going to see a lot of stuff, is what I'm saying. I'm going to eat some pudding now.
Is that a satisfactory answer?
Well, also, there have been some times we've worked with amputees who come and work on the show. And like my pets, the second time around, when Michonne was walking around by herself for a long time in episode 9 of last year, were amputees, and another lady we work with in episode 4. But also, you know, I look forward to the many diverse ways that I know Scott will continue to incorporate that.
Excellent. Thanks, tonight. Thanks, Scott.
Hey guys, I got bit.
He's talking! Take his head! Butt Lady, get him! Cut off his head with a button, I guess. Oh, dude! It's over!
That is so cute. I love it.
All right. Put your pocket, take it. No, shut up, put your pocket, take it. Take it, take it, take it. Yeah, I know, good. She's gonna know, too. She's gonna be like, one from back here feels like it's missing.
Somebody hire me.
What is your question?
Yeah, so I got bit about a week ago when I lost my dog and my family and friends and job, and I just want to know, just as an infected individual and all other, for the plight of other infected individuals, what are you guys as a cast doing to raise awareness?
fictionalized account. It's not a documentary. And I just want you to know that in all of our real lives, we're doing a lot to raise zombie awareness and to stop walker shaming, which we're against, and just to make sure that all the walkers feel accepted at a distance, and that, you know, we really come together as a community, and I don't, is this any of this processing, or I don't?
A little bit.
There's also, in August, there's the marathon Walking for Walkers.
Yep.
I think a lot of you have signed up, but please donate.
Yeah, please. Their plight is soon to be your plight, so...
Dude, just go home and you're gonna be fine. It's just take a nap.
Sleep it off.
Take a movie, you'll be fine.
Take a couple Advil,
Look at the
walk off.
flowers. Look at the flowers.
You'll be fine. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good luck. Do you ever think about, like, I honestly think about stuff like this. When I get in a room this size, I look where the exits are. I'm like, okay, I can get out there. I can stab someone with this. If he bit one person, I'd say, what, 45 minutes before everyone in this room was infected, right? 45? Probably 45. 10 minutes? You think 10 minutes? You've thought about it. I like that. I'm sticking with you.
She already has an exit plan.
Yes, what is your question?
Hi. Okay, my question is not nearly as funny, but what character death on the show affected you guys the most? I mean, unless you want to tell me about the next season, I mean, that'd be good too.
That may not happen, but yeah, let's, Andy, what was it?
It'll have to be my wife, I suppose. But then it's funny because I was midway through shooting, I was about on episode 3 or 4, and I called up Scott Gimple and just said, you know, I miss Scott Wilson, I miss Herschel so much. And he said, that's the point.
Yeah, the problem is, whenever a character on the show becomes the moral compass, you're like, that guy's gonna die. I mean, Dale, Herschel, like, you don't want to be the one that's outwardly moral on the show because you know that your number's coming up soon. Because that's the whole beauty of the show, is that it makes you feel safe for a second, and then it just yanks the carpet out from under your feet at the same time. What about you, Steve?
I would say Jeff DeMunn and Scott Wilson. Those two, and Irony. But those two, I always harken back to, like, Glenn had so many moments with those people that weren't necessarily shown on screen, and he learned so much. And that actually happened in real life too, you know, just them passing me books and knowledge, and now they're gone. It's a bummer.
I have an annoyingly, like, deep question for Norman, which is, did Merle's death, was it hard, do you think it was hard for Daryl, or do you think it was weirdly freeing for Daryl?
A little bit of both, I think. I don't know, Daryl sort of found his sense of self-worth through all these other people, and I feel like Merle would have held him from that, you know? I remember when we were shooting stabbing him in the face, and yeah, right? So shooting him, stabbing him in the face, and that, Greg was telling me, he was like, you're not stabbing him because you're mad at him. You're stabbing at him because of the world. This is what the world's giving you. These are the cards we're dealt. But yeah, that was tough, and it was hard to lose him as well as a friend. Just shooting with him was a lot of fun. Yeah.
What is your name in question?
Hi, I'm Brittany, and I was wondering, how do you get into your character when you're filming The Walking Dead? I know Andrew already.
Andy punched a car.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve?
I've been kind of taking a lot of pointers from it. I think if you ran B-roll of like 4 seconds before action and then like 5 seconds after action, all of us are just going like, fucking freaking out. Oh, sorry, freaking out to.
The funny thing about it, I think, to our crew is that it's so normal for us all to be so weird now. It's like the stuff you get into. I mean, we're really performing the craziest tasks on the show, so you have to be a little bit crazy.
What about tonight?
I was just thinking through like different moments. Like there was times where, you know, when I was prepping to, for instance, try to kill the governor in his, whatever that was, man cage of heads.
And daughter prison.
And daughter prison. And, you know, daughter bedroom prison. You know, and how I had to go into very dark places to do that. And the crew, they were telling me later that they have to do stuff to you and adjust you, and they were like, we just didn't quite want to touch you, but we kept like having to go up to you, and I don't know what I was exuding, but whatever it was, they were like, help her out and get out the way, you know. So and then for me, I had to like, I find that sometimes for that scene, I was doing jump rope, I was listening to certain things, and I was kind of going to dark places that I guess was like coming out of my, you know, or whatever. But then there are times where, you know, that's not required of you in every episode. So, you know, you don't have to go to points where, you know, the crew doesn't want to touch you, but you can go to places where, you know, you're just enjoying the moment you're about to have with another cast member. Like, you know, this episode with me and Carl in the house, and, you know, the crazy cheese stuff. It's just a completely different way to get prepared to like try to help this young man through his grief, as opposed to try to kill a bad guy.
Well, and that makes me want to ask Chandler. I mean, Carl's had some of the most difficult tasks in the show, and I think one of the most heartbreaking things for me was after the scene with Lori, you're just like your face is just empty. Are you taking a picture of me?
But I can't do something. Hold on.
Yeah, of course you can do whatever you want.
Hey, I'm gonna put this on my thing.
I think a lot of people here would like to watch you put that on your thing. That could mean anything. Shut up. But Chandler, what is it? How do you prepare for a scene like that where you just are so kind of like walled over? I mean, do you feel like Carl is in turmoil or inside, or does he just shut down because it's just too much?
I don't know. I mean, the way I prepared for that, I just like, because the tunes throughout there, it was like a maze, and so I would just go like walk through there aimlessly with no particular reason, and it was pretty fun actually, just walking through the maze. It's because it just got you in the mindset of having no idea where you are, or you know, or where you're trying to go, you know, and just trying to get back to where you were.
Excellent. Good answer. I think we have time for one more question, and that will be your question, sir. What is it?
Oh. Hi. Big fan of the comics. Wish Robert was out here to give him some accolades, but
I'll tell him. Robert loves the comic, really loves the comic book! Here he comes. All right, give him your accolades.
Does this work?
I'm probably
this better be good. I went up steps for this.
Certainly a little bit loves it. So, my question was really for the whole cast. And you can answer it too. All the twisted, macabre stuff that you've had to do throughout all the seasons of the comic books is, I mean, how do you prepare that? How do you prepare for that and that kind of loss of humanity? How do you bring that into the role? How do you prepare for that?
Is there anyone specific that you want to ask?
I guess I'll ask Andrew, but maybe Robert too, how he dreams up all this crap.
Don't look behind you.
Yeah, be careful.
That's just us.
Yeah, Andy, when you first kind of looked at the script, looked at the comic books, and you realized, oh, this is going to be like a really intense journey. Where did you go immediately to start getting prepared for it? I think.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to music a lot. I get to get me in different sort of states. Prince helps me.
Prince?
Yeah.
Which album?
Pretty much all of them.
Purple Rain?
Purple Rain, I love. I was listening to
so
something
good.
Day, yeah. But no, I mean, it's. For example, for the Lori scene, you know, the death scene, I listened to another song over and over and over again, and it was And it just helps me just get quiet and just imagine really dark thoughts. It's weird.
Well, then let's let Kirkman answer since he walked up the stairs. What?
I don't wanna. Yeah, I mean, it kind of wears on me a little bit, you know, because there are periods where I'm working on The Walking Dead for like many days in a row without doing anything else, and it does get a little, it's a little heavy sometimes when I'm, you know, dealing with human misery as you do in The Walking Dead. You know, characters dying and stuff like that, and I think that's why it helps that I do so many other projects. So I'm able to, you know, go and do something a little bit lighter. And although all of my projects these days have seemed to be pretty dark, so what I'm saying is I'm in a pretty bad place right now. but yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's fun digging into the, you know, darkness in imaginary characters' souls and seeing how that works. So I enjoy it, but I don't know, I'm probably a weirdo.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it once again for AMC's The Walking Dead, our cast.